The Qing dynasty was no more, but rather than remain united under a new government, China had fragmented into fiefdoms ruled by warlords. In our final episode of Battlefields for this season, we'll examine the 20-year struggle between nationalists and communists and the rise of the People's Republic of China under Mao Zedong. Today's topic is the Chinese Civil War. I'm Indy Nidell. Welcome to Battlefields. After the death of Sun Yat-sen in 1925 and a brief power struggle, Chiang Kai-shek had been able to establish control over the nationalist Kuomintang Party, GMD. Between 1926 and 1928, he carried out a series of campaigns trying to unify China. Despite a number of major setbacks, he was able to defeat the Beiyang government in Beijing and many of the remaining warlords, while also gaining the support of others, establishing GMD rule over much of China, with his capital at Nanjing. While the GMD gained international recognition as the undisputed government of China, the continued influence of the warlords remained a source of tension, but it was another faction which was to cause Chiang greater concern. The nationalists had initially received support from the Soviet Union and the Communist Party of China. However, Chiang Kai-shek had grown fearful of their steadily increasing influence, both within the GMD and the country as a whole. And on April 12, 1927, he ordered the arrest and massacre of hundreds of communists and labor unionists in Shanghai in a bloody purge. From this point onward, the nationalists and communists were enemies, and left-wing activists retreated underground or to the countryside. The first major engagement between the two sides came in August 1927 with the Nanchang Uprising, which ended in a GMD victory. The next month, the GMD suppressed a peasant uprising in Hunan, led by 33-year-old Mao Zedong. While initially unsuccessful, these insurgent groups were to form the core of the First Workers' and Peasants' Party, later renamed the People's Liberation Army. For the next few years, communist forces fought a guerrilla war against the nationalists. Establishing a base in southern Jiangxi province, they resisted attempts by the nationalist forces to surround and destroy them. But a major setback for the communists came in 1934. In a fifth encirclement campaign, the nationalist forces were able to nearly crush them. Seeing that the situation was hopeless, the remaining communist forces abandoned Jiangxi and broke through the GMB positions. They escaped to the west, then headed north toward Jiangxi province as three separate armies. Now, they were not only fleeing the nationalist army, but were also plagued by hunger, disease, desertion, harassment by both enemy forces and hostile warlords. By October 1935, over a year after beginning their trek, the three armies were reunited in Jiangxi, outside the direct control of the nationalists. While they had survived as a fighting force, the terrible conditions of the march took their toll, and only a small fraction of those starting in the south had made it to the end. But the Long March would enter Chinese communist mythology as an example of military brilliance, tenacity, and heroism in the face of adversity. In the short term, it established Mao Zedong as the dominant figure in the Communist Party. However, during the
created using Powtoon.